This is my project for today. I find that choosing one cleaning project a day really helps for deep spiritual cleansing. So I'm purging this room, y'all. I should turn the video, y'all, so y'all can see just how much stuff is in this room. So I'm gonna be getting up and moving stuff out. Y'all still hear me talking, but I'm gonna be getting stuff out of this room while I'm talking to y'all. So I'm going through the books right now. Going through the books here. I have a terrible problem with letting go of books. It's so hard. Oh, excuse me, y'all. So hard to let go of books, y'all. Now I know why my mother, sometimes my books would disappear when I was a kid because she knew I would never give them up and I was done with them. Okay. So I'm doing that out of sight, out of mind technique. Boxing a lot of things up. Uh Putting them in box and labeling the box, and so all I gotta do is drop them off somewhere, when I'm ready to. Okay. It's nice to have always something to release. A lot of people do too much releasing, and then when it's time to release, they don't have nothing to release, and then they're like, I need a release. Okay, we're going to get in the video topic in a minute. I'm waiting for more women to come in. Men, y'all can listen too. But I do want to just know, please no negativity or hate towards women in this video. Okay? Please don't attack middle-aged women. Be nice. This video is talking about what you're not told about menopause. It's almost like you got to go through it to know it. Okay? It's kind of not like spoken about, or it's not in the books. So, I guess we're going to have to wait till everybody else come here. They're late. I'm creating piles of different things here, y'all. So I got my books there, stuff there. Look at this candle. We got to go. See this candle? I got to throw this candle out. It's done. Let me put that over here. Feel free to listen to the sounds of... I didn't realize I was such a candle junkie till I looked at all this stuff. Lots of stuff here. It's even all around me. Okay. So what you're not told about menopause. I'm cleaning this desk area first. Is that people hate you more. If you think you feel negative energy and hatred when you're younger, people hate you a lot more when you're in menopause. And I will explain why. Okay? You will spend most of your menopause time side-eyeing people saying, seriously, seriously, seriously. That's like your day every day. Every day, you're like, seriously. Till you get sad no more. And this is life. See this? This is life to menopause women. Now we know why grandma and aunties have a bowl of candy on their table. This right here, don't leave home without it. Like, for real. We'll talk about this in a minute. Hi, everybody. Yeah, you get bullied a lot. Energetically bullied, emotionally bullied. Menopause women are the most abused group of people that the doctors and the system is starting to set up protection for menopause women. They're actually asking women in menopause, are you being abused? Like, directly asking them, because they know that people think that because you're in menopause, you're better off dead. Like, you don't have no eggs. Your beauty is on a real deep decline. So I could treat you any kind of way because no one's going to do anything. And so the health system is aware of this, that menopause women are walking around pretending like everything's okay, that they feel safe when they don't. Okay? You can feel how worse the negative energy is towards you because you're in menopause. It's so, and I kind of figured out why. Okay, now this is even if you're in perimenopause, because I think I'm in the premenopause. I'm getting deeper into it though. Um, and here's the thing: a lot of women find out, say, don't tell nobody you're in menopause, or else tomatoes will be thrown at you. It's like it's become taboo to even tell anybody in your menopause. You got to walk on eggshells talking about it. Um, and if you talk about it, people try to say, "Oh, that's life. So why do I have to hear you complain about it?" And to me, that's very disrespectful because not every woman goes through the symptoms of menopause. Not every woman even has to deal with menopause because some of them never had ovaries or they had their uterus removed while they were very young. So they, when they got older, they didn't really have the change of life thing. I don't know why people say menopause is what every woman go through. Okay. If you are transgender, you may not go through menopause because you was not born with ovaries in the uterus. I know people who in their 20s already had their uterus removed. So they had a hysterectomy. So they never had to go through menopause. So I'm sick of people acting like it's like an all woman thing. Okay. um, we're gonna continue. I don't look at hidden comments because any comments that are hidden are probably negative. As I said, no negative energy towards middle-aged women. Don't come in here saying they hit the wall, they 304s, they old aunties. We don't want to hear it. Okay? We don't want to hear it. I know what people do. They see the video topic and see menopause and they say, "Ooh, I can attack all older women." We don't come for us because let me tell you something about women in menopause. We don't have a problem with knocking you out if you disrespect us. As any old menopause woman out here, we reach a point that if we got to knock you out for disrespecting us, oh well. A lot of us don't even care about catching cases for knocking people out. We're really going through a lot, health wise, mental wise. A lot of us are. We're in the fight of fights. Okay. So if you want to get hurt and broke quickly, go ahead and if you feel like getting beat up, go ahead and disrespect a menopause woman. You'll know what it's like to get beat up. Okay? We literally cannot tolerate disrespect. I was always someone who was like trying to deal with things and peacefully and passively. Let's talk it through. But ever since I hit premenopause, I don't want to talk it through. You get one little talk through and get away from me. Before I throw something. Before I go Mexican on you and throw a flip flop at you. Like, I'm serious, y'all. And any person will tell you. That famous actress Viola, she was ready to kill her husband. It's real, y'all. It's real. Okay? The negative energy is louder to us. See how the world is feeling the energy out here? They ain't feeling it like we feeling it. See, something about that estrogen hides people from women. The true nature of some of these men are hidden from women when their estrogen is real high. Because I'm sensing things in the male community now I never even sensed before. Like I could pick up on the deep darkness in these men now that I couldn't sense before. That's deep. They don't I'll tell you that about menopause. That you can sense the fakery. That you can sense that people don't like you because you're not thirsty for them. Like menopause women are hated because we don't got thirst energy. We don't have thirsty feminine energy that aggravates the male population. I can sense it because because some of us with women with menopause, we're still beautiful and we're not thirsty. It triggers these men. We're supposed to be shaking our butts in front of them, trying to get their attention. We're supposed to be desperate because we're an older woman in menopause, yet we're not desperate. See, I see menopause as still protection of the older woman. Right when people think we'll be desperate, we're not. Because what matters to us has nothing to do with how fine you are anymore. What matters to us has nothing to do with what money, car you have, none of that. Okay? What matters to us is something spiritual. That's what we prioritize. That's what we make number one. So what entertains the young girls just don't entertain us. Saying you have a job and thinking your 9 to 5 job is enough for us to be thirsty for your energy, it's just not enough for us. We have a whole different level of gratitude. So it's like kind of like you see, here's the thing. When something gets taken from you that's been with you for 20 years, you learn the true meaning of gratitude. That is what the empress knows about. Okay? She knows about having something taken from her that's been a part of her for maybe 20 years. Since she was 13 years old. Okay, 20, 30 years, 40 years, whatever. So we learn the gratitude of the spirit being just as valuable as flesh stuff. So when we go out here, we're not thirsty, and the male energy is aggravated by that. They take it like we're bitter, we're angry, we're overrating ourselves. Like, how dare you ain't thirsty when you an empress? You might be ready to hit the wall or whatever. So they feel some type of way. They feel some type of way, but they don't understand that we value things differently than the young girls and that they value. But they're taking it like we're just like, oh, we're just trying to play some sort of game like, yeah, you lucky to have me. First of all, I don't mean any harm. Because we value more spirit over the body, we truly do, that we turn to spirit health all day, every day, because we're in menopause. We truly aren't faking it when we say we're not thirsty for attention. We might want some companionship, some company, but we need a lot of time alone because we are dealing with other things health-wise that we have no control over. Like literally, you can, as an empress in menopause, you can eat healthy, sleep healthy. You can get all the sleep. You can have the most peaceful week and still wake up in undescribable pain. Okay? As I told y'all, I would rather go to Iraq. I would rather get my ears pierced all the way to the bone up here than deal with what I have to deal with in the early morning and at nighttime and in the middle of the day. It's like a check-in. Hell comes from you in the morning. Hell comes for you in lunchtime, dinner. And it's like you can't get away from it. Okay? You can't. It's like, I toilet with me. Or if I would be able to stand up and get off the toilet. The pain was that bad. The pain was that bad that I was going to take my Tylenol, or 2 Tylenols and ibuprofen, mixed medication, pain medicine, while sitting on the toilet, drinking my pain medicine and sitting there waiting for the pain to go down so I can just stand up and get off the toilet. These are things that menopause women don't tell you. That we have days that we feel like somebody beat us up. Like it feels like you got beat up by a couple of people. So if we're not smiley out in these streets, it's because we're trying to get around an unbelievable nerve and muscular pain from head to toe. We're trying to go do shopping. We're trying to clean with pain from head to toe. A lot of menopause women ain't going to admit it though. That's why they're walking extremely slow. Why they're just sitting on their porch for hours and just walking to the mailbox and back and walking like they're going to pass out just to the mailbox. And people think it's so cute to beat up on middle-aged women because people don't know this part. People think menopause is just the last of your eggs being released, hot flashes. That's what people think. But there's a whole lot more other symptoms that happen. Okay? You could drive all the way to the store and don't know why you went there. And sit in that car for 20 minutes trying to figure out why you're there. It's really, really wild like that. You sitting around in like 200 degree heat, like you're suffocating like this. While everybody else is walking around in 60 degrees having a grand old time. And you're... And there's nothing that can be done about it. There's women who have passed out from that. People think we're exaggerating. People think that we're using menopause as a way of getting attention. But I am naturally mostly an introvert. Besides when I get on YouTube. I actually like to be alone a lot, which great writers do. I'm a writer. I like my alone time. So me doing that is not thirsty for attention. One of the reasons why I chose my husband, because he also can be very introvert at times. So when I'm introvert, he introvert, it works. It works. So when I'm going through menopause attacks, I call them attacks now. I'm not thirsty for attention. It's a real reaction. People don't realize that even regular pain medicine don't even work with menopause. But yet, if you go up to somebody and say you got a Vicodin, they'll say, why? And you say menopause, they'll say, you don't need no Vicodin. Every woman goes through that. Well, you need a Vicodin for that. See, it's toxic, y'all. It's toxic. It's like you can't call up your doctor and be like, I need a Percocet or something in here. Can I get a hydrocodone or something? Doctor will be like, some of these doctors will be like, just go ahead and rest. Go ahead and rest. Take 2 Tylenols. And you like, I took 2 Tylenols, dog. I took 2 Tylenols, dog. I'm still sitting up here. It's 2 a.m. in the morning, doc. I'm still sitting up. I'm still hurting here. And then the thing about the menopause body is that you take pain medicine. They don't tell you this. It'll work for certain positions of your body. I didn't even know that's possible. You take pain meds and you're like, oh, okay, kind of work. Good. Yeah, Tylenol's working. But as soon as you go to put pressure on your body, your effing body hurts. And you're like, it makes sense. My body, but it doesn't work when I lay on it. Doesn't make sense. Okay. So another thing is what they don't tell you about the menopause body, the menopause woman, is that your body don't just go to hell. Sometimes your body gets better. I'm calling it what it is. Sometimes it seems like your body is becoming more fruitful, as if you're going through puberty again. That's what it feels like. Like, I noticed my breast started to swell up. Okay, there's women in the menopause form saying, "Who anybody's breasts get bigger?" I said mine's did. People said my butt got bigger. I see some menopause women in their 50s who never had a butt in their 20s, and now they got this big old booty. Now, okay, I know y'all saying, well, should be glad. Not everybody wants more of it. Not everybody wants bigger boobs and bigger butt. Okay? Somebody said I took that bad. Not everybody wants more of what they got. I really did not want my breasts getting any bigger. From late 30s all the way through the beginning of premenopause. Okay, I noticed my lady parts getting bigger. And it didn't even matter if I took macaroon or not. It just all got bigger. Okay? And I'm like, but okay, if everybody talk about estrogen makes you sexy, estrogen makes a woman's body voluptuous and delicious. Why the hell am I getting more delicious and I'm losing estrogen? Y'all, because I think women still need a certain amount of the male hormone in order to still be sexy. I see that now. I see that now. That too much estrogen, I think, like maybe make the woman's body come to a screeching halt with her development. I think once that estrogen starts to drop and you're in menopause, the body starts to reach maximum. It goes for maximum development. I really think there's a second puberty that happens to women when they hit menopause. And I don't know why this is not talked about. I literally have had dudes who have known me for like 20 years have literally said to me, "Damn, girl." And I'm like, this don't make no damn sense because it's not like I'm in here taking estrogen. And we can't say it's just because of arginine and macaroon. Arginine may help you put on muscle. Macaroon, it may give you a little bit, but it's not going to go ahead and triple your breast size and triple everything. That's something else going on from menopause. I know women who literally, okay, for example, my mother. My mother never had an enormous butt until she hit her 50s. My mother was literally a skinny woman, literally 130 pounds, straight up skinny, with a tiny little butt. Okay, little butt. She got 55 and all of a sudden she's a thoroughbred horse. Like she an upgraded version of Megan Thee Stallion. Okay? And like thicker than Megan Thee Stallion with her belly still small, but bigger boobs and bigger breasts than Megan Thee Stallion. And men would say, "Oh, your mom is built like a brick house. Damn, she fine as hell." And I'm like, my mother is literally 60. So, but my point that people need to stop stereotyping menopause women and thinking that we're all going to hit the wall all because we hit menopause. That don't happen to every woman. Every woman don't lose it because they hit menopause. Some get better. Period. So, but it is what it is. And it seems like people hate that you got better. It's like people say, how come your body ain't trash and you're in menopause? It's like people want you to be trash in menopause. I can sense it, like my intuition. The young guys will look at me and they'll see the gray and they'll be like, "Oh, she's probably in menopause. How dare she look good?" I even have young girls triggered. Like, when I tell the young girls, "Call me Mika, don't call me Vic." If I tell them to call me by, "You don't call me Miss V, call me by my first name," they get triggered. Because, why they get triggered? Because they're like, "Oh, you're in menopause, probably, most likely, Victoria. But your body's looking pretty good. But I don't want you to have a body and I have a body and I'm younger than you. No. So I want to make sure that I remind you that you're old and in menopause by calling you old by saying Miss Victoria. I want to know why 38-year-old women think it's comfortable calling me Miss Victoria. I'm not Miss Victoria to you if you're in your 30s. You're calling me Miss Victoria because you're trying to say I'm in my 40s. I'm in my 40s because you think you can because you have eggs and I'm losing mine. So you can passive aggressively manipulate the conversation to remind me of our differences, in spite of the fact that I'm keeping up with you with the body. See, I don't got y'all. I'm a very intelligent woman. If you are a woman in menopause, stop letting these 30-year-old women call you miss. Okay, they're doing that to be smart, y'all. They're doing that to be smart. Okay, they're trying to group you. They're trying to group you with the women who actually look real old, like they're in menopause. Okay, like menopause took them down. They're trying to put you in that group. No, don't put me in that group. You're gonna call me by my first name. This is what you say. Call me by my first name, like I call you by your first name. If I'm a woman to take care of my body, and I look pretty good. I look pretty good without a bra on. You're going to call me by my first name, and I'm going to call you by your first name. That's what you're going to do. I tested young women, and they got triggered. They got literally triggered. Like, why are you triggered by that? Okay, because you don't, because you want to try to make it like I'm used up, and you're not. You're probably more used up than me because I was married for years. You're still young, running around out here. But that's another story. That's a whole other conversation. So, what they don't tell you about being a woman with menopause, you'll notice, and this is just something that I notice, is that when men come towards you, it's almost like I'm really just coming towards you because I want to see what the sex is like with you because you look good and you're an older woman in menopause. You can pick that up intuitively. Like, men approach you differently than they approached you when you were a queen. They approach you like it's very weird, like almost like you have to work harder or something, or work hard to get their attention. Like, they'll give you their attention, but it's like, oh, like shower them with this kindness and love. Because you're just so honored to get some of their attention now that you are an older woman who might be in menopause. You're just so honored to get spoken to. And it's hilarious. And when I pick that energy up, I will literally do this. I will literally roll my eyes and I'll say, have a nice day. Even if we're just talking about finding something in the store. If I sense that energy, I go, okay, thank you very much. Have a good day. And I notice that their energy will get, how dare you? No, how dare you? How dare you? Because my eggs is really none of your business unless you're my husband. My age is really none of your business. I'm grown, so it's none of your business unless you're my husband. What may be going on in my body, female-wise, is really none of your business. And I don't owe you nothing because of that. I don't owe you some special respect and attention because of that. And these men get so triggered because we don't fall into that. But what they don't understand is one of the reasons why we don't cater to their energy in spite of our age and menopause is because we are literally vibrating extremely high, intellectually and spiritually powerful at that point, to the point where it's like It seems like stuff, it's almost like God just speaks through you all day, just comes through. Like if I just think of a question, the answers come. Okay. The synchronicities are more often. Support comes in more often. The synchronicities get to a point where they're just like all the time. So I know how covered I am, how covered and favored I am at this age. So why would I cater to your energy because of my age versus your age? My feminine transformation versus your masculine transformation. Why would I cater to that? Spiritually, I'm more able to access God than you are. Because you're led and controlled by hormones. I'm not controlled by estrogen anymore. I'm not. And the crying and all of that the menopause women do, it's not always over. Oh, nobody wants me. The crying is because of all the energy coming through. We are such receivers. I can feel so much pain. There's times I just think about, I be thinking about other people's pain like through the day and be like, oh my goodness. You know, I was never like that when I was a queen. When I was in my 20s, I never was like thinking about, wow, my neighbor's over there suffering. Maybe I should go help. Thinking about so many people's pain, all this pain coming through, picking up on everybody's pain. I couldn't pick up on all of that when I was in my 20s and early 30s. No one can hide their pain from me now. People can smile on my face and I'll literally pick up their suffering. And it's like instantly, without me trying to use psychic abilities. I never could do that in my 20s and early 30s. And then when you are in menopause as well, you start to see your past clearer than you did before. When you do introspection and past reflection, you be like, what? The illusions get revealed. Things you never saw before you're seeing. People who you never understood, you never could see, you see now. This is why the empress can go through moments where she has to go up in the mountains and just be away from everybody. Because she when she go looking back over her relationships with people, she see everybody for who they really are. Half of y'all ain't never gonna see the people in y'all life. Half of y'all girls ain't never gonna see them clearly until that estrogen get out of the way. And it's just the truth, y'all. Y'all never gonna be able, some of y'all young girls is never gonna be able to turn that people pleasing energy off, turn that chasing energy off, that thirsty energy off, until that estrogen get the hell out the way. I don't know why nobody talks about this. You know, that's why some men will sit up there and say, oh, menopause women, they became evil and mean. No, we telling the truth. You don't like the truth. You don't like the cold hard truth in your face. We're not biting our tongue, and we're not dealing with shenanigans, and we're not acting like what you're doing is disrespectful. It's not a big deal. We're not so tolerant of your BS, which we never should have been tolerant. That's why. It's funny when these narcissistic men run around and say women in menopause are wicked and mean. They never say what they did to these women. They never say, well, she told me to go F off and jump off a bridge, and that was mean. But they don't say what they did to this woman and how long they've been doing it. Because see, when the empress has been abused and disrespected so many years by her family and a man, when she hits that menopause, she get into her power. She step into her true power, and she's ready to pull everybody in the ring and knock everybody out who disrespected her. And they should get it. They should get the heat. See that heat she getting, that's not just for her. That's not just to keep her warm, whenever in this cold world towards her menopause. That heat is also so she can put people in a place that she should have put in their place years ago. Y'all, I'll be calling it, I'll be saying it what it is. Well, somebody say crazy, sing that song. I don't know what you're talking about, what song to sing. Okay. And then when you're happy in menopause, when you're feeling good and happy, it's like people hate you even more. It's like, Dad, you want me to sit here miserable in menopause? You want me to be that way? You know, I notice when I do videos on this channel and I'm in happy spirit, whatever, men will start attacking. Because they're like, oh, this is an older woman. What is she happy about? Now, what are you happy about? Like, I'm allowed to be happy. Broke, old, 90s, bent leg, turned in feet, crooked teeth, bald headed. I can still sit here and be happy. Y'all, I'm just saying. There's some other things that I want to teach y'all about what I learned because I'm studying it. See, I'm studying this process because I want to prepare my daughter. I am a mother of a female. I want to prepare my daughter for this. Now, I did tell my daughter one thing, and she was like shocked, and she almost cried. And I said, don't worry about it. I said, because you got me. Okay, you got me. You got plenty of family. They care about you. And I told her, and you need to get one good friend. One good friend. Okay? And you'll be able to deal with it. I told my daughter what I just told y'all a moment ago. People are going to hate you more. I told my daughter to call her truth. I said, I want to tell you something about menopause. Those eggs are going to stop releasing. And the hate is going to get worse. And people are going to try to devalue you. You're going to realize you're being devalued by more and more people. I said, so love yourself real good right now. Get yourself to a very healthy, loving state before you get to menopause. And get you people who really care for you and build on those relationships right now so they're there for you when menopause hit. But don't forget, all this lust is coming for you because your high estrogen levels, all this energy vampires coming for your energy because of your estrogen, all that's going to stop. And I want to tell her, most of the people that want you before menopause are actually vampires. You think you're getting ahead. Well, I'm so attractive. Everybody wants me. I could get in men, I could see men all want my energy. No. A lot of them are energy vampires, and you will figure that out. You will sense it when you become an empress. You will sense that someone will feel like you have to have high pheromones and high estrogen just to say hello to you. And this will happen often. You could be an empress with beautiful skin, beautiful hair like me and all that. But you'll notice that people, they don't even sense the quality of your spirit. They're so hooked on hormones. They're so hooked on estrogen and pheromones that they don't even want to greet you unless they can feel like they can feast and leech off of that. But you're never going to sense this until you get in menopause. You're going to, right now, and if you're young, you're going to say, well, I got pretty privilege and all that. It's not because of your pretty privilege. I still got pretty privilege and I'm in my 40s. I don't look real wrinkled up or any of that. Okay? That's not why, baby. That's not why. It's because we're living in a world where 77% of narcissists men, which means they're all tuning in estrogen and your pheromones, which means they are being more attracted to that, to feast off your energy, okay? To feast off your root and your heart chakra. A lot of those men that's speaking to you right now, that know you right now, young lady, if you're watching, all the young women. See, this is a conversation that your grandmother and your mother should be having with you, but they're not. Because I know my mother didn't have this conversation with me. My grandmother didn't have this conversation with me. Thank God that my daughter has a mother like me. That's not going to let her out here totally shocked and devastated because she didn't know none of this. Half of those men that chase you, young girls, this in their, and I say young because I'm saying 20 and 30s because I'm young compared to a 50-something-year-old or a 60-year-old. They're young compared to a 90-year-old. But if you're a young girl in your 20s and 30s, those men, when they know you in your 40s and 50s, half of them going to change up. You're going to notice that they ain't so thirsty to speak to you. They ain't so quick to call you. They're not so quick to help you or to come through. Then you're going to be like, well, they were all fake. You're going to be really pissed because also you're in menopause and you're like, how dare they switch up when I'm going through this change of life. So I'm giving you this warning now. Okay? Giving you this warning now. Be careful of all the love bombing that you're experiencing. While you're in your 20s and 30s and early 40s. Some of that's all going to go out the window when you hit almost 50. Okay? It's going now. The more we're going to keep talking about the positive side too. You will be able to attract higher quality men. I know people say, no, empresses with menopause can't. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. You'll notice that men who are super productive, okay, who are more spiritual, they will be quick to support you if you express anything of troubles. So, for example, let's say you say, oh, I can't remember things, blah, blah, having trouble remember things. An older man, like in his 50s or 60s, that's real spiritual, just worried about being productive. He might have gone through a divorce and he has kids or whatever. He's going to say, "It's okay, I got you." I'll, what was you looking for? What thing do you remember? At least the type of stuff you was looking for. They'll step right in. Okay, you will just notice that those 40-year-old dudes or 30 and 20-year-old dudes, okay, you'll be like, maybe I'm better off without them because nah, their energy don't seem so as grounded as this 50-year-old man that's about the same age as me, that's spiritual, that's worried about his work. It don't seem as grounded. You know, when you can become an empress in menopause, you can sense when a man's root chakra is trash. You can sense it. It's like they can't hide it from you then. I guess it's something to do with the lack of entanglement of the estrogen with their hormones in the air, where there's no confusion about how they use their root chakra. Hi, everybody. I had to suck my sucker. All right. I think another benefit, and I just got to say this, y'all. We might not think it's a benefit, but it is. The empress can wear better, finer stuff. I like that. I like that I don't have to worry about ruining my expensive panties. I don't have to worry about leakage. Okay, this is adult conversation. I don't have to worry about menstrual dry blood odors. I don't have to worry about my menstruation coming on at the wrong time. I don't have to worry about being uncomfortable having a heavy menstruation around a bunch of people. I don't have to. I don't have that type of mental stress. I think that also interferes with mental grounding. You know, when you have to worry about all that stuff. I don't have to worry about spending $30 a month on sanitary napkins. Like, I just realized that there's gift cards I didn't use because I didn't buy sanitary napkins. I was able to treat myself more instead of running for sanitary napkins. Now, I know some people say, well, you can still have a menstruation when you're in menopause, but it doesn't happen as often. Okay, and eventually it just stops altogether. So some months you're saving like $20 to $30 a month. So where you're able to, see, that's the thing. Everything has an upside. Everything has value, even losses. So where some women say, well, I have eggs, you don't. But I have my baby already and you don't. And I could have had more babies. And if I want another baby, I can easily go ahead and adopt. And my daughter is having babies. She already told me. So I have grandbabies coming. So I'm good. And me and my daughter wants all the help she can get with that baby. She already told me. So my point is this, okay? I could grandma my grandbaby up while sitting here with expensive panties on every day of my life and not have to worry about ruining them. Okay? And that's just the real talk. That's real talk. I look at the babies out here, I be like, oh, they so cute. And I be like, no, 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 I raised my baby. I'm good. I'm good. Right when I start to get like, oh, maybe I should have had more babies. No, I'm good. I'm ready for grandbabies. I'm ready for them. Oh, that's okay. I need to be able to send people's babies back. I need to be able to send people's babies back because now that I know, see, when you hit menopause, you realize how hard life really is. And you start to remember how hard it is. And you're like, okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and help somebody out with their baby because I can send it back. That's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. So like my niece is having a baby. Okay. My daughter wants a big family. Her and her boyfriend's having babies. She already told me they're going to. I'll just go ahead and be a grandparent with my grandbabies and then send those babies back when life is just too hard on my old butt. Okay. Too old to deal with hard life. I send the babies back. But when life gets hard with you, when life gets hard when you're a queen, it's embarrassing to give up your baby. Okay? But I've done the work. The thing about being a menopause woman is to think about the work you've done for other people's babies if you don't have any babies, or the work that you've done for your own baby. Pat yourself on the back for all that hard work you did as a mother. So you will remember that even though your eggs are not there, you actually raised the baby. You didn't just walk around with eggs just to have eggs. Like some of these weird queens are doing. I don't want no babies, but hey, you want to go ahead and throw eggs up in somebody's face? I actually did use my eggs. I tried to use my eggs 5 times, okay? I tried to get pregnant many times, but I had one baby out the situation, out the whole effort. Okay? The creator said one baby, I did it. but at least I tried to use my eggs. So when women try to say I have eggs, you don't. Are you actually using your eggs? Do you have a plan to use your eggs? Did you get you a man that actually wants your eggs? Did you get a man to care about your eggs? Because one thing I can say, my daughter's dad is a ride or die dad for her. Okay? He was there through the whole process. He went to Lamar's class for our baby, and he was there the whole time after the baby born, and he's still there for our daughter. That's one thing I can say about my baby daddy, my husband, okay? He is there for our daughter to the end, and he will be till she die, okay? But he wanted a baby. So my point is, and we got pregnant on purpose. It wasn't an accidental pregnancy. So I consider, I can't speak for other menopause women, but I consider and say, hey, I didn't accidentally get pregnant with my egg. I got my egg fertilized on purpose, so I'm good. Okay, I did it. I did it. I did it at least one time. One time, I raised it. You know, the thing is, a lot of people that say they don't want babies, but what is the problem with raising at least one baby? I thought the Creator said, go and be fruitful. So when women talk bad about me, say you're an old woman with menopause, I say you're a 30-something-year-old woman who hasn't had a baby yet, or still having abortions. Make it make sense. I got my baby out the way at 25 years old. That's why I consider in my 40s and don't have to worry about my baby out there. Don't have to worry that much. I mean, it's like it just amazes me that people don't realize that us menopause women, we're braver. We're brave because we were brave. Some of us were brave enough to raise babies and literally go through menopause without saying take the whole uterus. Some women go and just lie and get the hysterectomy. But what about some of us out here who are willing to ride it out? Like me. I'm riding it out. I'm not going to these clinics and letting them put all kinds of different drugs in me. I'm not doing none of that. I'll go ahead and do pain management, look into natural home remedies, the Native American things that they did to deal with it, whatever. I'm brave. And if you're in menopause and you're doing it the natural way as much as you can, pat yourself on the back for being that bold, because you know how hard it is. Some of these women are rushing to say, oh, I got fibroids, so that's why I got a hysterectomy in my 50s. Nah, sis, you know those fibroids will shrink fast in menopause. You don't even have to worry about fibroids when you get in menopause because they shrink to the point where you don't even feel them anymore. But women will rush to get the hysterectomy in their early 40s and say, I got fibroids and that's why I'm getting them. Because they don't want to go through the menopause. They don't want to go through the menopause stages. Exactly. I'm brave enough to raise a kid and sit there with menopause and know that I was able to get pregnant and raise a kid, and I could have did it more. But there's women out here, so I'm not even brave enough to raise a kid. But I still want to glamorize having eggs. Don't glamorize having eggs that you don't intend to use. When someone could use those eggs, why don't you go ahead and give those eggs to a clinic somewhere? Donate your eggs. You know that you're not going to use them. You said you don't want no kids, but sis, you're in menopause. I'm not. So I got something over you. No, I got something over you, boo. I was brave enough to get married and have a kid. And I was brave enough to raise my kid in this trifling world and know that it was going to be harder, but I still did it because the Creator still wants us to be fruitful. The Creator doesn't care about the condition of this world. We did this. So we still have to follow the scriptures. We have to own up to what we did to this planet. Okay, we own up to it. Own up that you didn't learn how to garden. Own up that you don't know how to save money. That you don't know how to appreciate a 1.5 bedroom apartment, a small nest with your baby. No one needs a big nest with one child. No one needs a big nest with one child. Having one baby is literally abundant compared to someone who will never have a baby who can't. Who can. I remember this woman said, who has 9 kids. Okay? She said, many are called, few are chosen. I said, what is that supposed to mean? Because she knew I had miscarriages. So she thought that I wasn't called as much as her because I had one baby and she got 9 babies. I looked at her, I said, you know there's somebody out here that want a baby that will never have a baby. So don't try to one up me with the baby heaven. Okay? I'm just as abundant as you, sis. We both got a baby. We both got a baby, okay? It's not about how many babies you got. It's about the quality of you as a parent. It's about the fact that you did what you did. You followed the Bible. You tried to be fruitful. You tried. You had a baby, okay? Period. Yo, my conversation's been getting deep. And I just looked at her like, okay, so you're going to devalue my one baby because you have 9. And some of your babies were unplanned. My baby was planned. Okay, so should I say yours unplanned, mine's unplanned? Are we going to go there? No, we're not going to go there. We both have a baby. We both have a baby. We both listen to God by having a baby. God said, go and be fruitful. We did it. Yay, we did it. There's some women out here that ain't bold enough to do it. They're not. They too attached to their gold. They're too attached to their club hopping days, street walking life. They're too attached to their shopping addiction. They're too attached to their internet and their TV. They're too attached. They're too selfish. They're too self-absorbed. And they're too tired of using excuses for it. Blaming it on society as to why they don't have a baby. Like, I'm trying to understand that. I'm trying to understand. Okay, my sister is raising 2 kids by herself. She already raised a son. She raising her second son and my nephew by herself, doing just fine. She has a job. They got little jobs because they're like 16 and 17 now. Okay? She went out there, met her a guy who helped supported her. And she got her little 2-bedroom place and raising them. And everything's fine. So I don't even want to hear people to say, oh, you can't raise a baby in this economy. Yes, you can. The Amish people are doing it. How are they doing it? Y'all. It's like, okay, if it's so hard to raise kids in this economy, okay, how did our parents do it without the internet? The rent wasn't any more cheaper than the minimum wage back in the 1970s and 80s, but our parents still did it. People think having the system help them take care of their babies is losing. No, this system owes you. This land is your land too. This land is my land. This land is your land too. So when you get free food and free stuff, it's not free because it's actually yours. Like, this is the real talk. This is my land. This is definitely my land. I'm of color. So if anybody else want to say it's not their land, go right ahead. But I know America's my land. I know my grandma was Blackfoot and this was her land. Okay. So I know. So whatever's growing out of this land and they're stacking in warehouses, food and all that type of stuff, whatever. It's in whatever clothes that they getting from these animals, the skin hides, the whales, the beers. It's mine. It's mine. Okay. Y'all better start thinking like I'm coming to get what they owe me. This maybe I could get in that energy more because I'm a document descendant of documented slaves. But why do you need document proof that this is your land? I'm trying to understand why black people need that. I'm gonna talk directly to minorities, okay? Period. Okay? Everybody else can say, well, this ain't my land, but minorities, people of color, you don't need documental proof that they owe you. You know what happened. It's in the history books. If you think none of your ancestors went through that, then you're living in dream world. Yeah, all of them did. All of them did. Okay, every person of color walking this earth back in the 1940s, 30s, 50s, early 1800s, they went through it all, went through the same. Segregation, discrimination, abuse, everybody went through it. So the point is, this system owes you. You already know they're overtaxing you. You know this. Okay? So young girls, when you sit up there and say, I'm not having me no baby because I'm not dependent on the system. No, the system is dependent on you. So you're not making no sense, sis. You're not making no sense with that. The immigrants, they understand this mindset. They understand this. Because some of them know this is still their land. Their ancestors immigrated from America to there and had them. And they're considered immigrants, but really they're really from America. Their parents were from America, whatever. So they're saying, I'll go into the free clinics and the free food and stuff because it's actually my land as well. They have this mindset. So when people say the immigrants are doing better, because that's the mindset that they have. They don't look embarrassed when they stand in the food bank lines. I don't see them looking embarrassed. I don't see them feeling uncomfortable. I'm trying to understand why young black mothers act uncomfortable to get food from land that's yours. Like, make that make sense. Like, y'all, I had to put a family member in their place because they tried to say I was delusional to let the system pay for my groceries for 3 years out here. They were like, yeah, all that, you might have had brought healthy food all the time, but you were always getting it from the system. I said, no, the system owed me, baby. What are you talking about? I was like, I went and got my food. That's what I got. I said, you're mad because I had more money in my pocket by going to go get food that this system owes my grandparents and me. You're mad. You're mad that I kept $200 in my pocket and made the system pay for it. That's what you're mad about. I said, somebody tried to say I wasn't a good mom because I had the system pay for my groceries for 3 years. I said, are you serious? Oh, so I'm not a good mom because I kept $200 to be able to spoil my child and I made the system buy my groceries. So you're trying to say that I'm a bum, I'm ghetto, I'm a hood rat. No, you're ignorant for not doing the same. Please make this go viral. The problem with people of color, especially young women, is they don't know how to work this system. Slave this system because they're slaving you. Okay? They're using you up, young women. You so worried about these men using you out here. This system's using you. Look at all these women working as cashiers for crumbs. Look at all these women working as nurses for crumbs. You think that little says $17 an hour for you working a nursing job is good? No, that's nothing. It's nothing compared to how much they're keeping. Most of these employers keep about $4 of your paycheck. And that $4 add up from each person, each person, each person, so they can take all these lavish vacations while you're working. Yeah. Don't you want your money back? Go get your money back from this government and have by getting that free stuff. That's how you can get your money back too. Period. Period. When I was growing up, my mother, I don't know if some of y'all know this, but my mother was a Black Panther at the same time when Tupac's mom was a Black Panther. So maybe they knew each other. They might have knew each other, okay? Because my mother was a tough woman. She was bold. Like she had a reputation of being somebody that didn't take no crap, okay? But my mother was a part of the Black Panther movement when they were getting free resources for the Black community. And I remember my mother always treating free resources like it was normal. And it just always confuses me when I see people complain about it. When I said nobody ever complained about that in my house. My mother never said, oh, we got to take the kids to get soup at the food bank today. My mother never, and she was a Black Panther because she knew she came from a certain time period that she actually witnessed us being ripped off to the max. She saw her mother. Y'all, it's hard for me to talk about. My mother was, like you see in the movie The Help, my mother was one of those, my grandmother was one of those women, okay? My grandmother was like those women from the movie The Help. She was. My grandmother was someone that cleaned white people's homes. She was a very underpaid, low-key slave. That's what she was. Cleaning white people's homes. And she would take Mom, tell y'all a story. I don't talk about it much because I start crying. Because my mother should never had to witness that. I cry when I think about my mom seeing that. My mother told me a story that her mother would go to white people's homes and clean her homes. And she couldn't afford a babysitter. And my grandfather had just come back from World War II. And so he couldn't watch her. He had scrap metal in him. You know, bombshells in him. So while he was at the house being cared for by our Uncle Charlie, our older uncles, his brothers, my grandmother would have to take my mother to these white folks' homes and be a slave to them. My grandmother was born in the early 1900s. My grandmother was born like right after Black people were allowed freedom, before the freedom was in full effect. So basically, my grandmother was still subjected to the racism and slavery. So she would clean white people's homes and she would have my mother sit with a book or something and wait till she's done. Okay. And the funny thing is my grandmother always used the system. And I couldn't understand why she always glamorized going to get food from the food bank, going to get food. I never could understand that until my mother told me the story of the fact that my grandmother was like anorexic, okay? Basically wasn't eating really because she was basically a house slave. My grandmother was what you call a turtle dove. Normally my grandmother was such a beautiful dark-skinned woman that's probably why they chose her to be a turtle dove, to be a house slave. Because of her beauty. Probably that, they always, house slaves were always really good looking. Now, I told y'all my grandmother was Blackfoot, so that was wrong for my grandmother to be a house slave, and she's literally Blackfoot Native American. I really don't know how my grandmother didn't knock those white folks out. I'm just saying what it is. But anyway, it is what it is, okay? They didn't pay my grandmother no money, okay? But my mother said she would sit quietly for hours while my grandmother just cleaned her house. their houses, and she would go from house to house to the white people's houses she cleaned. Sometimes she would be their cook because my grandmother was a great cook. But I never realized that my grandmother and my mother always normalized using the system. So when people made fun of me as a mother, it was like, I don't understand. My mother never said it was wrong. My grandmother never said, you're failing if you use the system. So I this is why I'm more of an introvert as well, because my belief system is so outdated compared to the people today. My belief in being a parent, my belief in choosing a partner, my belief in being a provider is so different than everybody around me that I have a hard time making friends, because what they say is not going how I was raised. Okay? For example, I was raised because my mother got to see my grandmother being a house slave and a house cook. So my mother was taught to cook everything from scratch. Because as we know, the white slave masters always wanted everything from scratch. They were too chosen to eat instant food. So my grandmother cooked everything from scratch. So did my mother. So I chose a man who could cook everything from scratch because I cook everything from scratch. Home cooked meals. So my daughter was raised on home cooked food. And whole foods, So, but a lot of people I know, a lot of young moms today, they're okay with like instant food, going to these stores, going to the takeout and stuff. And it's because they don't want to swallow their pride and go to the free sources. They would rather feed their kids 99-cent, or I remember the price of it being 99 when we used to sneak and get them. My mother didn't allow it. Junior bacon cheeseburgers. They would rather take the kids to get junior bacon cheeseburgers than cook whole food, non-instant food. Okay? They would rather scrap up change to get junior bacon cheeseburger than go up the street to the local food bank and get whole food out of there. I don't understand it. There was times I had pennies, quarters in here. I could have easily went in there and said, come on, daughter, we're going to go get some junior bacon cheeseburgers from McDonald's. But I didn't. I said, you know what? I'm going to do a Martha Stewart up in here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and swing by and find out what food bank is going on right now. Okay, I'm going to put this money aside for your clothes, school, whatever, so you can do all the fun things I never did. See, when you use this system, your kids can do all the fun things you never did. See? That's the benefits of using this system. So I told my daughter, whatever I didn't get to do, I want you to do. Whatever I dreamed of doing that you say you wish you could do, I want you to do. Because you need to live better than me. You need to be able to do more things than I did. That's living better than me. Okay? So I told my daughter, I would rather take this $300, pay for your majorette classes, pay for you to try out for homecoming queen, pay for you to go to Florida and go meet the alligator guy and go to the Everglades and stuff, and go ahead and go get some food from the system. That's what I'm going to go ahead and do. And so that's what I did. I worked the system. Every month I would go to Produce for the People. If you're in Pennsylvania, you know Produce for the People. It's the truth, ain't it? It's the truth. Produce for the People. Okay? Produce for the People is a wonderful, wonderful food source in Pennsylvania. It's in the north. It's in the North America. And what they do is they go get all this food from different farms. Okay? And they put all these boxes of whole, beautiful food out. and they say how many people you got in your family. And they even count the people that's just staying with you at that time. So let's say you got somebody staying with you for 2 days, but they don't know they staying for 2 days. You say, I got 4 people in my house. Okay. And then they'll say, oh, they'll give you 4 things of lettuce, 3 bags of potatoes. But this is all whole food. It's like nothing's really instant. Okay. And then you can go every month. And then as your food don't run out, you just freeze the food and keep going every month. You will literally save like $200 a month at least going to produce for the people. Now, if you go to produce for the people, plus your neighborhood food bank, plus a whole city food bank where they don't care what part of the city you live in, now you're getting up to saving your entire food bill. What'll happen is that now you got about $400 worth of groceries, estimate. And that's $400 left of your food stamps, of your cash from the government, or from your hard-earned 9-to-5 job check. That's $400 that you can pay for your kid to take those classes. Notice I'm not saying for you, okay? Because really, to be honest, when your kid is at those classes, then you got you. Then you got you. But you get your kid, then you get you. You get you with health first. You wash up, take care of yourself, do your prayers, all that. But send your kids out to have the adventures you never had. And you can't. Unless, at this point, unless you are wealthy. Unless you inherited money. Unless you inherited money. I don't care if you make $100,000 a year. It doesn't matter how much money you're making. This system owes you, no matter how much. Okay? Get it. I tell young women who are with babies, stop counting that money that you're getting at your 9-to-5 job as I could go ahead and use this to send my kid to go to France. No, get the system to try to pay for everything. Okay? And then count the money. Then count the money. I'm going to get the system to pay for whatever I can get it to pay for. Then I will count that money, that my hard-earned money. Okay? This is why, here's the thing, too, I realized. If you're a young woman, you should never take a man without a car. Okay? Sorry, ladies. A car helps you get to the system that you need to use. Yeah. So, get you a man that's willing to come through 3 days a month. If you don't have a car, go to one of these lots, have the system, use the system, save up your money to get a $4,000 used car. They still got them. And use that car to use the system even more. Use that car to get coats for kids. I never bought my daughter a coat until she was maybe 17. My daughter got her coat for free every year. I know people say, well, don't you get money? I thought you said you were working 60 hours a week and so was your husband. Yeah, we were. We were both bosses in here. But why am I going to use my money when I can use their money? I'm just saying, I could go and use the system money. I can get people to give birthday cards to get my daughter what she wants. I worked the hell out of this system. People would think my daughter lived rich. According to the friends she had. Oh, she must have, she's bougie. Your daughter probably bougie. No. It's not that. It's that my daughter knows what it's like to live a full life. Young. She glamorizes working hard so much that because she did so many things young. Don't you want your kids to feel like that, young women? That when you sit around in menopause, you're like, I'm good because my kids got to do so much. I did it all. They got to do so much that if they become workaholics now, I'm okay. I like you think about your kid a lot when you go through menopause. You worry about them. You're thinking about like, okay, what did I do? Did I do things right? What did I not do? What did I not do that I still got to do? You start to want to make sure you didn't miss nothing. But if you are a young queen and you're not in menopause yet, you should get ahead of. You should be doing this already. Okay? You should be thinking like, okay, I need to start thinking about this now so I don't have to think so much about this when I'm in menopause. I don't want to sit around and having to do so much back inventory of how I was as a parent. I don't want to have to worry so much about that because I want to focus on healing in the transformation. So if you are a queen and you have a kid right now, you need to sit and talk to empresses, especially those who are in menopause, and ask us, what did we wish we did differently? What are we happy about what we did? How is our kids benefiting from what we did? Teach them the hardcore lessons. Let empresses teach you the hardcore lessons that you are not getting. Okay? That people aren't teaching you because they think that you're so stuck up because you're young. What do you need? What do you need these lessons for? You're ungrateful and conceited because you're a 20, 30-year-old woman and you're acting entitled and now you got men thrown at you. I ain't helping you. I ain't telling you what to do. See, some people will feel that way and will not help you. So you got to go towards the empresses. You have to go towards us and say, hey, can you help me? Because I know someday I'm going to be you. Someday I might be you. I might be sitting up here like, okay, I'm not having no more babies. So I need to see if I need to do things better with the one child or the child that I have, children that I have. Because that's all there's ever going to be. But I'm going to add, since I'm thinking like this already in my 20s and 30s, I need to go speak to an empress so I can get this information early. See, let me tell you something else. When you get in this mindset at a young age, and what I was talking about, and not waiting until you're in menopause to run around with your grandchildren and do all the things that you wish you did with your child, and you don't want to be in that energy, okay? Because you're like trying to make up for it with your grandkids. No. And you're young and you're trying to, you're using the system. You want to be able to say, well, I could be selfish now that I'm in my 40s and 50s. You don't want to feel bad about being selfish when you're in menopause. Because you worked the hell out of this system to provide the best of the best that you could for that child in every single way. The children that you do have. So if you decide you don't want to talk to your kids for a couple weeks when you're in menopause, you will not feel guilty. You know that they got wonderful memories to think about of how you sent them here and paid for them, did this and did that and did that and did this and did that. Okay? And there's a little bit of sadness that I get sometimes in menopause. You know what I get sad about? Is that I get sad that I don't have grandkids yet, and I know so much now that I didn't know then. The things I'm telling y'all My mother didn't get to tell me because she died. She didn't even live to be 70. So I am my I did these things that I'm knowing. I'm only knowing through introspection and reflection, through growing up with a mother who got to see her mother enslaved. So I'm only sharing with through introspection and memory, lessons from memory. I'm waiting to have grandkids so I can help my daughter in a way that my mother didn't get to help me, like directly help me. She helped me through demonstration, but she didn't get to help me through socially because she got sick. So she got she got sick so soon, and I think she had kind of early onset dementia. I think, but as I was saying, um, when you have days where you feel like it's over, and you're in menopause, remind yourself of how good you did as a parent. Think about the good things and think about how you're just in another stage of being a parent. You're not done being a parent, even if you don't have any kids. When you're an empress, you're supposed to help the innocent at that point. Your job, you have a bigger job, parenting job as an empress than you had as a queen. So look at it like it might not be eggs that have come from you, but you still have to help the eggs of the world. You're just in another type of gratitude of life. And that's how I see it. I find that if I don't help young people on this channel, it's almost like the creator says, I'm going to make sure that you feel this menopause so you understand that you get through menopause by helping the young people. You have to, nothing's for free. You want to get through menopause, you have to help the young people, even if you don't have no kids in your house anymore. Okay? What you got to provide more for your kids when you're in menopause. And you may not think that you have to, but you have to provide more emotional support. Because you're learning now. You're learning deeply about how lack of emotional care can truly affect you. You really learn that when you're in menopause. You'd be like, damn, I didn't know that emotional love was that important till now. It's really that important. So when you feel that way, you text your kids, your grandkids, and say, how are you feeling? How are you doing? You have compassion for yourself emotionally by demonstrating compassion for young people who are still in that internalizing their emotion because they're young. Okay? When you're in menopause, you're like, nah, it's all coming out. You might have 2 crash outs in one day. Like I'm telling y'all, you just have one day you're like, I'm showing my emotions. I don't care. Everybody can see them. And it finally feels good, like you're finally letting it out. But the young girls aren't. They're suffering in silence, y'all. I'm telling you, older women who are in menopause, these young girls are suffering in silence, even when they're alone. They're sitting there like, oh, I'm just gonna go on TikTok. I'm just gonna go on YouTube. I'm just gonna go to the bar and drink. I'm just gonna call a friend and talk about work. They're all ducking and dodging, letting those emotions out. My daughter, I said to my daughter, I said, daughter, you have to tell me how you feel. Like, you have to tell me how you feel because I know that you're having a hard time with that because you're young. You want to prove that you're strong. You want to prove that you didn't fail me. You're strong emotionally. You feel like you can't show your emotions because, oh, my mom's old, so I can't show it or whatever. So I told my daughter, You know, if you need to sit on the couch and just cry it out, come on, cry it out. Because she cried it out a couple months ago. I had her head on my shoulder. And I felt like, okay, it's okay for me to do it. You know, I'm allowing my daughter to do it. So I should be able to do it. Okay. Hi, everybody. Somebody said make this go viral. Yeah. Um, I'm so glad that I taught my daughter to use up this system because she uses this system up. Yeah, she really do. She literally eats her dinner. She has her job, pay for all her meals, pay for all her dinner. My daughter eats 5-star dinners every day. She can easily go home and cook, but she works at a high quality restaurant. So she just eats from their menu and saves her money. It's like she uses this system so much that she's able to do all type of fun things. You know, she says, "Mom, I shop at Goodwill." She said, "I buy everything. I buy my clothes." She said, "I don't buy my work clothes in regular stores." She buys all her work clothes at the Goodwill. I said, "Well," she said, "Mom, I'm not paying $50, $40 for some jeans to trash on a job. No." She said, "No, no." So she spends little $10 on jeans at the Goodwill to walk around and walk around at work, and she's keeping that money in her pocket. See, the other 30 that some people spending on jeans, she keeping that right in her bank account. And she going to North Carolina. She's going to the museum. She goes to all these different places and does all kind of fun things. She goes to the Renaissance Festival every year. Um, Goes hiking, roller skating. Her and her boyfriend do everything. Bicycling, you name it, they do. But I'm glad that I taught her to have no shame for using what can be used and what should be used. That includes family members. That includes family members. She has a golden rule to only give her gift cards. My daughter will only accept cash and gift cards because I told her, I said, let me tell you something. Your grandparents got money. I told her, we don't have no more kids. So we keep money stashed here. I told her, we don't have no more kids. Okay? So when birthdays and holidays come around, to make everybody give you cold hard cash. When she had her birthday party, her big birthday party, her last birthday party, she had I'm telling y'all, her stack of cash was like this. She was like this, 20, 20, 30, 40. She was, y'all, I was like, woo, child. She had so much money. And I just looked at her like, Tachi, well, she didn't have no gifts on the table. She just had cash in her hand. And I know some of y'all think, who the heck she thinks she is? She's smart. Okay? She's smart. Because who wants to waste gas and waste energy returning things? Who wants to do that? She got a life to enjoy. She wants cold hard cash. You can control money. Okay? You can control money when it's given to you in cold hard cash. Like people who have a problem with giving me cash as a gift, I don't trust them. I don't trust them. Oh, thank you very much. I give cash here. We give cash in this house. Only time we might give a gift if somebody really need it or they ask for it. Only time we give gifts if you have to have asked for it. Other than that, you get whole car cash. But you know, I go through my mind during menopause and find out what I need to still do. Because, when you go through menopause, you're at the halfway point of like, my life is almost over. Okay? Half of my life is over. Half of my life is over. What did I not do that I still got to do? That's what it's about. Taking stock now. Taking stock. Seeing what I'm working with. Seeing what I still need to get. Seeing what my unfinished business is. And seeing how I can help my family as much as I can this last half of my life. What did I do to me that I still got 40 years to undo? The average woman lives to 85, 90 years old. Okay, I got at least 25 years. If I protect my energy a lot during menopause, I probably won't drop dead in my 60s. Y'all, I stay saying some stuff. So all I gotta do is through 10 years of the menopause, because menopause can last up to 10 years. I can just go ahead and not deal with toxic people. Just run from them. So I don't drop dead in my 60s. A lot of black women drop dead from heart attack in their 60s because they go through pure hell during menopause due to the mental health problems that are in the black community that has nothing to do with menopause. Y'all know I be talking to y'all on the weekends. Y'all like my weekend talks, don't y'all? So black women, y'all can help. I'm talking to women of color because we the main ones dropping dead during menopause. Be very selective of who you deal with. Okay? See, when women of color go through menopause, because our body tends to thin out in the face. Okay? Menopause thins your body out in the face to do. So people start to say, oh, you a man. This is what menopause women hear. You a man. People try to use that to hurt us. Because you can see our bones more. Okay? You can see our bones. You can see our cheekbones more. That pushes women of color to the edge. All the insults about our bone structure, about, and do you know, let me tell y'all something else. Do you know that menopause takes your teeth? Do you know that menopause will weaken your teeth? It weakens all your bones, osteoporosis, okay? So, if you are in menopause and you are, or perimenopause, you are better off paying more on your dental bill, okay? Your dental and your genital bill is the highest bill, but your dental is the most important. Now I know some of y'all say, well, some women get cancer while in menopause, like uterus cancer. You need to make sure if that's a high risk in your family. For me, breast cancer. That's why when I hit menopause, I noticed the doctors called me and said, you qualify for a free mammogram. Okay? Because breast cancer and breast tumors run so rampant in my family, I qualified for a free mammogram. But they didn't call me until last year because they pretty much looked at my age and was like, yeah, she going into menopause. She might start getting some, obvious tumors in that breast or something, that might end up becoming cancerous because of the stage she's in. So I'm gonna go get me my mammogram and pray. I might even go to actual church before I go to that mammogram. Okay. Because it's a serious thing. I got an aunt with no breasts. I got another family member I have several women in my family that have one breast, and dudes that had to have their nipples removed, all because of breast cancer and tumors and stuff. So I damn sure ain't falling in line. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my mammogram. If you're a menopause woman, don't put that off. But your dental bill is very important. It doesn't matter how good you did your teeth in your 20s and 30s. Bone density and bone loss gets worse when you're in menopause. I had a tooth out of nowhere get loose, out of nowhere. We'll talk, y'all. Okay? This is a very unguarded video. My scripture told me to share my story. My scripture told me that, said that yesterday. So here I am telling y'all the truth. Menopause hit me, and all of a sudden I'm in a fight for my bones. My toe bones feel like I'm walking on bird feet. And y'all know how little and fragile bird feet look. I feel like my body is walking around on the feet of a sparrow. These toes feel weak. Okay? Things like that they don't tell you about. So when you are a queen and you're young, you need to try to do as much fun things as you can in your 30s. Okay? From 30 to 45, you tell your man that you want to do a lot of fun things. You tell your teenage kids, y'all going to do stuff every month. Say, we going to do stuff every month because this body might have to rest more in my 40s, okay? I might have to have rest periods due to the change of life. So I need to be able to celebrate my life as much as I can in my 30s. So if there's any young women in here, write that down. I'm in my 30s. I need to have the best time of my life. I cannot be in this sitting in the house energy like everybody else in. Women, you cannot afford that to be in that energy young. Men, they're not going through menopause. They can sit in the house in their 30s. They can sit and Netflix it out all damn day. They're in their 30s and they're a man. Okay? They're a man. You cannot. Okay. I will if y'all want me to do the memoir, that's so funny that you said that. You're a synchronicity, Bree. I got in my scriptures to write memoirs, and then you said that. My body literally just vibrated. That's confirmation. That's confirmation. I'm gonna go ahead and do memoirs. I'm gonna write. And I started writing something last month that's kind of like a memoir. So your comment is a synchronicity. Wow. I'll definitely download this video and I'll put it in the form of a memoir. You know what? You know what's so sad? Sometimes I cry. Sometimes I cry in here. I cry for my mother. And I'm going to tell y'all why. Some of you queens, when you get in your 40s, you'll cry for your mom. You may say, no, I'm not crying for her. She's toxic. You may say that right now because she's in her 40s. But when you get in your 40s and you're hit menopause, you're going to see your mother in a way you didn't see her before. You're going to see the suffering that she tried to hide from you from that menopause. You're going to see that when she was angry or she maybe seemed a little jealous of you or when she seemed like nobody's helping her and when she seemed a little bit clingy and you judged her for it, you're going to regret that. Okay? You're going to regret it and you're going to say, damn, whew, this is what my mother was going through while I was complaining to her about my boo. While I was sitting there complaining to her about this dude I'm dating, and she says she can't hear it right now. She was sitting up there literally hurting from head to toe. She was sleeping only 5 hours and weren't telling me. She was sitting up there dealing with the fact that everything sucks. See, here's another thing they don't tell you about menopause. You will find it hard to get pleasure from food. Something happens to the taste of food where you're like, this is all just, I don't even like food anymore. You know, this woman put a video up showing how everything she would eat, she would get. And I said, I thought that was just me with menopause. All the fish that I like to eat, it's like greens. Only thing my body intensely enjoys is this. Is juice, sweets, anything that's like bitter or fish or greasy, or it's like, ugh, whoa, why does this taste like this now? And just to think, some of y'all mothers are experiencing this, but they're smiling in your face when you show up. They're saying everything's good, I'm doing all right. But what you're not seeing is the crash outs when you're not there. What you're not seeing is the clumps of hair that's falling out. And that's why they don't have a hairline. You think it's from the wig. Nah, it's from menopause, okay? We love to blame everything on the wig life. But I don't wear wigs, and my hair fell out in big chunks the first month of my menopause. So, okay? What you're not seeing is the hyperventilation and the heart racing, where you think you're having a heart attack because your heart is beating so fast. Okay? What you're not seeing with your mom is the intense chest pain she gets, where she think, that's it. I guess I'm having a heart attack and no one's here. She's not telling you about that. She's not telling you about where it feels like her feet is breaking when she's walking. She's not telling you about her body odor changing and there's nothing she could do about it. I literally walked around for 3 days smelling like a bag of marijuana. I don't smoke marijuana. There's no marijuana in here. I don't smoke weed. Yet, I was reeking of weed. Literally. I walked around for 3 days with a weed fog around me. Smelling like old skunk weed. Even though I showered, even though it's not coming from down there, it's everywhere just around me, but sweat, whatever. Okay? And you can shower, you can work on your pH all you want. It's all that dead flesh shedding in there, coming out in little bits, the leftover remaining dead parts of the eggs, all that coming out in your panties, coming out in your pores, all of that. Whatever dried up fibroids coming out of you, all that's coming out. Why do you think women who menopause, they miss themselves, they wear perfume? How would you feel if you was like taking 2-3 showers a day, you were showering and there was nothing you could do about the smell of dried blood coming out your pores? You would probably not be in the best of mood either. Then I asked her, how was I? Was it bad, difficult? She said, no. And then what if you felt like somebody cranked up the heat in your body out of nowhere? You're happy, you're chilling, you're in good spirits. You're like, yay. Then all of a sudden, this heat is so intense that you can't talk, you can't think, you can't remember what you were doing. All you could do is get butt naked and just say, well, this is all I could do. You're walking around your house naked all day because you're like, the heat. I can't even have my house up more than 60 degrees in here, or it's 100 degrees in here. I'm sitting with a window open on a chilly, rainy day, and it feels wonderful. I feel like I could just jump in the ice cold sea and go down. I'll go down in the ice and be good. So my point is, don't be so hard on your old moms, okay? I look back now and I say, damn. You know, why didn't she tell me? But see, in the old days, the parents really didn't have this conversation with their daughters. They waited until you came to them about this stuff, about menopause. So when my mother was suffering, she didn't want to tell me because she thought it would scare me. Like, I'm not going to tell her. She's only 30. So I'm not going to tell her. I don't want, mothers are so strict on protecting their kids. They want to protect their daughters. So they don't want to tell their daughters all about it. So they wait till their daughters go through it to have the talk. But I'm not waiting to have the rest of the talk with my daughter. Soon as she comes over here, we're going to go ahead, we're going to have a little drink, we're going to sit down, and we're going to have the whole talk. I'm going to have her watch this video because I don't like that I was blindsided like this. That's what pisses me off. That's what pisses me off. No one told me all the rest of this stuff about menopause. I could have been more prepared. Frankly, I would have made an AC air conditioned room. I would have had AC in this room. I would have had more thin clothes in my closet. I would have did a lot of things different. I would have never cut my hair. If I had known that menopause like to shed your hair, I would have stopped cutting my hair at 30. Had I had known that menopause will attack the hell out of my teeth, I would have got all my teeth work done and finished by 30. I would have told that dentist for the whole year between 30 and 35, fix them all. Straight up. I would have even said, F it, I don't even want to spend no money until I can get whatever teeth that's just struggling, just get them out, get new teeth, get all new teeth right now. Seriously, that's what I would have did. I would have literally I would have took my YouTube money and straight went and got new teeth and said to hell with these teeth. They're gonna all go to hell anyway from probably menopause. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take this $25,000 from YouTube and go ahead, get me a ticket to Denver or somewhere, or Dakota or somewhere out there where the dental is cheaper, and go ahead and just tell them replace all the teeth that's been struggling because I already know they're going to bail on me from menopause. I don't got time for it. Yeah. Somebody said some weird. They don't tell you about the other symptoms. There's so many other symptoms, y'all. Let me tell y'all. They don't tell you about this symptom. That sometimes your mind, see that? Like my mouth moving all like that? All kind of weird stuff, y'all. My jawbone is like moving around and stuff is crazy. But they don't tell you that your mind sometimes have only a 48-hour memory or a 1-hour memory ability. Like, you will remember, you may not remember what you did most of the week. You'll just remember what you did maybe 20 minutes ago. But you won't remember what you did earlier or yesterday. I don't remember 80% of my day yesterday. This is why the empress needs to journal. She needs to do bookkeeping of her life. This is why when you're in your 30s, you need to learn what you want to learn. And build up muscle memory while you can. Okay? If you're a young girl, whatever courses you want to learn and education you need to take it now. Don't be sitting up there waiting until you're in menopause to go ahead and learn how to be an engineer. To go ahead and say, I'm going to be this world-renowned great writer. Most of the time, your menopause memory problems don't even correct themselves until years after menopause. So you spend 10 years like, I can only really work with what I already know, really. Okay? Whatever new things I'm learning, I'm going to have to do it way more than I normally would have to do it just to remember it. And then it'll be maybe 5 to 10 years before I can learn things easier, remember things easier as I did when I was a young girl. Hi, everybody. I could go on and on. Weird symptoms like libido, but not libido. I didn't even know that's possible. I didn't even know that's possible. Your body may show signs that it wants sex, but your mind don't. How is that possible? It's possible, I guess. I didn't know that was possible. The one part of your body could want sex, while the other parts don't, but your mind don't either. See, that type of libido confusion. They always talk about no libido, but what about the libido confusion? I don't understand why they don't address that. How the sexual libido switch turns off so quick. So quick. It's like the switch isn't working. It's malfunctioning. I wonder if Holly Berry talked about that. I guess they don't want to talk about that because that's embarrassing. Don't talk about that. No one's going to believe that you got that weird malfunctioning sexual libido switch. Someone might say, oh, you being messed with by a demon. Or somebody might not want you because that's weird. So don't talk about that. It's just a whole lot of taboo things. There's things that menopause women, even when they write them those books, they're not talking about. They're not talking about. They're not talking about how your hair changes. This isn't how my hair was. In my 20s and 30s, no. I didn't have such a curly, tight texture. My hair was literally fluffy. I had fluffy hair. But as soon as I hit menopause over the last few months, it's like my hair is suddenly turning into a different grade of hair. The texture is changing. I had somebody say, oh, you look like your dad. I'm like, no, that's my stepdad. And they like, well, why y'all got the same hair? And isn't he Hispanic? I said, my hair texture is changing. You know, I don't even need to use gel anymore. Like, I used to have to use gel to twist my hair. Now if I use gel, my hair just break out because my hair is already so tight and crimped up from this menopause. It got my hair like this. That I don't even need no gel. I just use butter. I can just put butter in here and it's good. You would think I got gel in this hair the way this hair feel. There ain't no gel in here. There's no gel in here. There ain't nothing but butter in here. But that's menopause for you. It for some women, for some afro texture here, it like literally it makes it gives your afro texture a stronger version of it. I went from having 4B type of hair to like I'm in 4D FG, where it's like super super tight, and it's like okay, fine, fine. I guess I'm all the way down. I guess I'm gonna be like my grandmother. Pretty soon I'm gonna be using only grease to twist this hair. I'll just put grease in it and go like that, and it'll lock right on up or something. It's wild, y'all. All right, we talked it up, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you want the replay, you're going to have to send a $5 donation, okay? Because I will be using this video for resources, okay? So this was a wonderful video. And I also feel like, y'all, there's so much I want to talk about, y'all. I'll say that for part two. Once again, if you want to watch the replay, it'll be $5. You can send donations of any size, five and up, to my Cash App at Moneyside Coach V Hunter, and I will send you the link to the video for the replay. Just let me know that you want the replay of this video. Thank you, everybody. Um, if you get the replay of this video, please share it with your lady friends. Please share it um with your daughters. Okay. There's so much more, but I really want to be. I do want to be a speaker for people with menopause because there's not one symptom that I don't have. I have it. I have them all. Like they just keep on piling up, and brittle nails, breaking nails. My nails just keep breaking. All kind of stuff, y'all. Weird sensations. Your body feels weird. Sometimes I feel like I'm getting jumped by bugs, but yeah, there's nothing on my skin. There's a woman on YouTube who's going through menopause, and she said the same thing. She said like it feels like when she puts on her clothes, it feels like there's something in the clothes. And I feel that same feeling. I thought it was just my mind or something. Now I know it's a menopause symptom. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Bye.